All right. So, as you guys know, free agency is around the corner. Obviously, on Monday I believe at around 11 a.m. Central Time, we will start being able to know who are the free agents that are going to be signing with the Bears and other teams. The legal tampering or the legal period of signing these players was going to be on Wednesday, but at around 11 a.m. Central Time on Monday, we will be able to get the breaking news on the Bears signing some free agents. So, I'm going to go through my top three free agents that I would want the Bears to try to go after. Now, keep in mind with these free agents as well that even though they are slated to be free agents in the next couple days, that doesn't mean that they cannot re-sign with their own teams. So there's very much a possibility that the guys I list end up re-signing back with their old teams and, we don't get a chance at them. But assuming that they do hit the open market and the Bears have an opportunity to grab them, I'm going to list my top three. So starting at number 3, I'm going to go with Khalil Mack. Now, Khalil Mack is obviously a Chicago favorite. When we traded for him back in 2018, man, it was probably one of the happiest days of my life as a Bears fan. Completely unexpected, waking up on, I forgot what day of the month it was or whatever it was, but I remember just waking up one morning and seeing the news that we traded for Khalil Mack, and I was just so pumped and so excited. Obviously, in 2018, he was an absolute beast, and we probably should have gone a lot farther that year than we should have, and we won't talk about what ended our season. But, Khalil Mack is back on the open market. Unfortunately, here is the thing, is that he is 34 years old. So obviously he is on the wrong side of 30 by a long shot. And this is a guy who's also been contemplating retirement. So there's a reason why he's not number 1 or number 2 on my list here. But on the bright side, Khalil Mack has also been very productive with the Los Angeles Chargers. And with the Bears having a glaring need at edge, having basically nobody next to Montez Sweat on the other side, Khalil Mack would not be a bad option to sort of, have on the team for maybe a year or two, go ahead and draft a rookie edge to sort of, learn behind a future Hall of Famer, who I believe Khalil Mack is going to be a future Hall of Famer. And you have that guy sort of sitting there, learning behind an all-time great. And so when Khalil Mack ends up leaving, the other rookie can step in and take his spot. So that's my guy at number 3. Going on to number 2, I'm going to take Josh Sweat from the Philadelphia Eagles, also another defensive end. And the reason why I put Josh Sweat over a guy like Khalil Mack, honestly, what it is simply is just age. We know that Khalil Mack is on the wrong side of 30 by a mile. He is 34 years old. Josh Sweat, I believe, is 28 years old. So a lot younger with a lot more years of, play in him. And obviously he is in his prime. So around 27 to 29 is like the main area of a player in his prime. So Josh Sweat coming off a super crazy performance in the Super Bowl, 2.5 sacks, probably should have won Super Bowl MVP, but we know that quarterbacks usually win that. So Josh Sweat having a pretty solid year too, nothing crazy at 8.5 sacks, but 8.5 sacks would also be a lot better than what we got from pretty much anybody on the defensive line. And having Josh Sweat alongside Montez Sweat, creating sort of the Sweat brothers. And they are not related, by the way, just in case anybody was thinking. But we could have another guy, another Sweat on the defensive line, another guy who, more importantly, can get to the quarterback so that Montez Sweat isn't doing all the work himself. And now going on to my number 1 target for free agency, and this is sort of going to make or break pretty much the free agency period, is going to be Drew Dalman for me. Drew Dalman, former center for the Atlanta Falcons, had a really solid year. Now, obviously, he's no, Creed Humphrey or anything like that. But compared to what we've had at the center position since pretty much the good old days of Cody Whitehair, really, we haven't had anything. I mean, going back to Sam Mustipher, Lucas Patrick, Coleman Shelton this year, it's been just complete disaster at the center position, and we need a guy that can step in and just be our long-term starter at the center spot. Drew Dalman is that guy, and even though he may not be the best in the league or maybe even top 5, we don't need him to be. We have good guards now. We have Jonah Jackson. We have Joe Tooney. We have Darnell Wright. So it's not like Drew Dalman basically taking on the entire work of the interior all by himself. Drew Dalman is solid enough to where he can get the job done as an offensive lineman, and he isn't going to be thrown around every other game like Lucas Patrick and Sam Mustipher and Coleman Shelton were. And I'll give Coleman Shelton some credit. He did do a little bit better in the second half of last year, but we need a guy that from day one can just be our starting center. We don't have to worry about that position for the next 3 to 4 years. And I believe Drew Dalman is that guy. So let me know what you guys think about that. Who are your top 3 free agencies or just your top guy in general? But yeah, that's about it. Bear down, I'm out.